Hello everyone and welcome to a new Setup Saturday. I'm here with Zero Cool. Zero Cool, how was your week?
Hello, hello. Pretty busy, but good.
All right, yes, it was a very eventful week. We saw we passed two times past the all-time high. Um, and like we said last week on Saturday, well, I was thinking the moment we touched the all-time high, we would have dropped immediately. And that's what happened basically on Tuesday. So Tuesday, we tested the all-time high. You can see it here on my screen. On my screen, it just touched the all-time high, but that's the USDT pair on Binance. But I'm pretty sure on a couple of other exchanges, we went right past it. And then it's pretty ugly. It was an instant drop, 15% on the BTC pair, but on some altcoins it was 30%, 40% even. I saw on some altcoins, and that's the thing that we warned you guys. So basically, last Setup Saturday we said be cautious with alts and try to rotate them maybe to Bitcoin because alts and funding were very very hot. There was a lot of leverage in the system, which has been flushed on Tuesday.
Yep, nice reset.
So basically, what I always try to look at in the beginning of Setup Saturdays are the ETF inflows. So for time being, the ETF inflows are the most important thing in Bitcoin right now. And as you can see right here, we had a lot of inflows last week. Also on March 5, as you can see, the day that we hit the all-time high, we also hit an all-time high in the ETF inflows. Um, so for now, for the couple of weeks being, I think this is the most important indicator if we will see higher prices or not. We can do some technical analysis, we can look at some charts, but this is really the most important thing. If there's a lot of inflows, the price will just continue to go up. If there's a lot of outflows, then it's pretty easy, then we go down. So the charts is already getting pretty long here because there are already, what is it, 2 weeks, no, 2 months in with the ETF. So I got a new one here where you can see week by week. And as you can see, we had the most ETF volume flows basically ever. So it's an all-time high, but not the most net inflows because we had a lot of outflows as well this week. And
Yep.
I think it's just because we hit an all-time high and a lot of people wanted to sell as well. So we saw a lot of GBTC selling, but we had a record of inflows, which is why that we went also up in the inflows. Um, for me, we can leave it here with the fundamental analysis on Bitcoin because this is the most important thing, and we can just go right over to use your Cool with some technical analysis.
Yeah, definitely. I'll start with a clean chart on the 4 hour with Bitcoin. Let me zoom this in a bit. First thing that I immediately notice is these little candles here. The last 4 hours is super compressed.
Why do you
You
think that
see
is?
this. Well, this weekend, normally the price just like there's less volume, especially now with ETFs. They determine the price range and the price basically. They don't trade on the weekend, so it dies down. This is remarkable. It happens if you go far enough, you'll find it happening a couple of times in the weekends. This normally happens before a larger move, or a move at least.
And is
To
it
me,
really
this
a sell block that you can see where the cells go in? I mean, a buy block or
um, what I've noticed honestly is if you use Agger, where you can see all some templates you can freely find online, you can see the buys and sells. To me, this is on the 1 minute. The weekend starts here-ish. This is just Coinbase spamming buys constantly. To me, Coinbase is keeping up the market.
but the thing is we don't really know when the ETFs are buying, right? For the same thing they can just buy in the weekend as well. We don't know it. I don't think
Um,
it's they made it clear
they
what
go
day they buy. I don't
they
think
go
it's
by trading
immediately.
desks. No, they don't settle, and they don't like. They don't like. Oh, this client bought, I don't know, 10 Bitcoin. We're gonna now market by 10 Bitcoin because our portfolio is empty to sell it to him. That's probably not the case. They do it with settlements at the end of the day, end of the week. but I do think they keep 9 to 5, Monday to Friday scheduled for buying, or just what I would assume. But for price action, the price is super compressed here. If you look at this, it's almost flat, and to me it looks like Coinbase is just spamming buys. It's just swapping this price and keeping it up. If you zoom out a bit over here, you can see the difference between the perp volumes, perp CVD, this is what has been bought and been sold, and spots. Can draw on this, I don't. But so blue is spots, which is just normal buying with USD, other pairs. Perp is leveraged buying, where you can go times X on your what you buy. We had the giant pump, giant dump, and you notice the difference. Spot sold off, yeah, but immediately bought and is going up, while it is perps pushing the price down, which means to me that spot is holding up the market. And if I look on my right, where it's more detailed, what market is, which exchange and spot or perp is buying or selling, it is Coinbase keeping up.
It's mostly a good signal, no? That it's mostly spot buys. Yeah.
Yeah. If you can quickly go over here, don't mind this yet. If you look at USD, this is Coinbase versus Bybit perps. There's $150 premium on spot on Coinbase, which is very bullish. That's what you want to see for continuation up. And yeah, like you said, we touched the all-time high, and then we rejected from it hard, 15%.
Two times, right? When was the other one? It was yesterday or the day before? Yep. We had the same thing yesterday.
Yep.
But not. That was only like 6% or something.
Yeah, it's wicked above 70K and then dropped 5-6%. Yeah. The second one, I thought, okay, that's it. We're gonna go down and we're gonna go visit the low of this wick. It didn't happen. We're just consolidating here. Consolidation under resistance. It's a meme thing from a cycle ago, I think, like 2017, 2019. It's meant to be bullish. I have my little icons up here because when I was comparing this, we also had deviation above the high, then a hard rejection above the high, and then we went to search up the lows. So if this is your high and this is your low, if we get rejected here, it should visit this. And that's my macro view for the next one.
But that's the thing that I said a couple of minutes ago. Normally the TA should follow a pattern like this, but imagine Monday we have a new record of inflows, then it's a completely different story.
Yep. ETFs are dominating the market. It's simple as that. TA here is not gonna be enough. There's too much buy pressure from the ETFs. I'll quickly go over what I expect is gonna happen. In the coming weeks. This is drawn on like a 2-week time frame. This can play out over 2 months. I expect that we break the previous all-time high, which is now this line, I guess, and we start like trading above it. It's where people start to get horny and start to long. Build a little range, break out of that range. Breakout traders will smash long after breaking out of this high, and then you turbo dump, you nuke super hard, you reject and you take out all the lows, and it just cascades. It cascades so hard that my line even goes back in time. That's how hard it nukes. We eliminate all these stops over here and over here, and we wick down into 58 all the way to 53.
Wasn't it as well kind of the same scenario the previous halving? Well, the previous all-time high. That is just that we bounced against it 2 times, and then the third time we went the 2 times we went past it. I'm not sure anymore, but I think we touched it 3 or 4 times, and then we went right past it.
Yeah, correct. It touched it a couple of times. Same with the previous all-time high around 1,000 or 1,200 back then, 2013 or 7, probably 13. Yeah, it bounced, it rejected, it rejected, and then after a 3rd or 4th try, it finally like gigapumped through the all-time high. So yeah, my macro view is what I am expecting after we nuke, we get contango, which means that the future contracts, you can buy contracts that are priced for the future, a week, a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year. Some even websites have 2 years ahead of time. Contango is when the price of your future contracts is lower than the current spot price. So now we're trading at 68,221. The future price for a year out would be $10,000 higher, for example. Contango is when the future price for a year out is below the current spot price. That rarely happens. That happens maybe last time was probably FTX nuke a couple of years ago. For me, that is the biggest buy signal you can have. So what I would like to see on the Giga nuke that I'm hoping to see is that we get that contango. We have an insanely amount of OI that is wiped up, open interest, including the one of CME. That's like the Chicago exchange. They have been trading Bitcoin for 4 years now. That also has open interest. That has only gone up since ETFs and pre-ETF. I would like to see that wiped out as well. And then what I also would like to see is liquidations over Bitcoin and alts in the billion plus. That happened here, by the way. This nasty 15% nuke here was a billion plus liquidation events. I would like to see that again. And lastly, it wicks into 58 all the way to 53. That's where I'm gonna bid. That's where I'm gonna have passive bids. Not insanely much, but a large stack. Spot and leveraged. I'll put my stop below 48. And this is where I'm gonna be bidding. Am I gonna get it? Very unlikely. But if I get there and I get this entry, this is the entry I want to go all-time high and above. Now, after that, after a big nuke event, you always bounce. It's always 10%. One of the rules is short to bounce. That's not what I'm gonna do, but I expect a giant bounce, like 10% from this. And then sideways action. During the sideways action, negative news. Bitcoin is rejected all-time high. Bitcoin is dying. It's bad for the environment, blah, blah, blah. Timeline starts calling $12,000 again, like a couple has been doing for months. Everybody's calling it quits. See you in 4 years when the next bull market starts. This was it. And during this block here is when I expect to have an alt season. Not the major alt season like we saw last time, but I expect coins like Solana, Ethereum, basically everything to just start ripping while Bitcoin is going sideways up. And then once we're above that all-time high, we're so back and we go towards uncharted territories.
All right.
That's what I would like to see. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm planning for. Will it happen? Very unlikely, but
honestly, it's pretty clear. You should post it on Twitter, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will.
And you made me think about when you said there was a premium. I posted it in Discord, I think, a couple of days ago. There is currently a kimchi premium as well. And for me, it's pretty bullish that the price, what is it in Japan or Korea? In Korea, right? In Korea is 10% higher than the Bitcoin price here. It's a pretty bullish signal, but it's also historically marked as a local top.
Yeah, kimchi premium always shows up when Bitcoin is stopping. It doesn't say, there's a premium now. It has stopped now. It's an indicator that you should be more cautious. Personally, if you are not positioned in Bitcoin or crypto at all, this is not the place to buy, honestly. Buy here when we break that all-time high again for the third or fourth time, in case we do just go chugging up like did 2021. We went 200% in 2 months, I think, with Bitcoin after we broke its all-time high. It's perfectly possible here. So
yeah, so just to comment on your scenario, basically what I'm thinking what will happen in the coming weeks is pretty straightforward. So this is what you're showing is pretty clean scenario, what should happen normally when just looking at the charts. But like I said before, I think if we're just looking at the ETF inflows, I think next week we will break the all-time high and we will stay above the previous all-time high for the time being for this bull run. So I don't see us falling back down anymore. That's my scenario. Just break all-time high next week and stay above for the coming months.
Do you think we'll have a rejection at one point where it drops 20-30% in a matter of days, hours?
Of course, in crypto you see that every week, especially in the bull run. But yeah, something like that. I think we will cross immensely above it. I don't know, what is it, 20-30%, and then maybe we see a correction. Don't forget, we also have the halving still lined up on the 20th of April.
A lot of macro stuff as well.
Yeah, what was it? The BTF Bank Term Funding Program ending this Monday, or
Yeah.
no, or on Tuesday? What is it? The 12th?
This week, yeah.
Yeah.
Or this coming week.
So maybe we
bank
see a couple of crashes on local small banks, which
Yeah.
might help Bitcoin, honestly.
Yeah. The absolute Pico bottom that we had here, this I believe, was that's two banks failing in Silicon Valley. Yeah? Silicon Valley Bank and another bank that completely crashed and burned.
Credit Suisse, or was it something like
that? It was either here or here, but
Yeah.
it marked the absolute bottom for Bitcoin, where we just rallied from 16 to 70. So yeah, an important one to keep in mind, macro level. There is big stuff like the bank funding program is ending. Reverse repo is also on its way to being completely drained.
And just to have some couple of setups on Bitcoin, if people are sidelined or looking to buy some more, where should they buy, and maybe do you have some sell targets?
Above our all-time high target from last year, or from 2021, sorry. I'll take a clean chart. Do I have sell targets? No. If we go above this,
yeah, you can keep holding it for 1 year plus, honestly.
Yeah, if we go above all-time high and like you expect that it keeps going because of the ETF inflows, because BlackRock also announced, oh guys, we now have an ETF product, but we're also going to buy our own product to put in our own portfolio, which is immensely bullish, of course. Fidelity revised their targets for crypto holding from like 1 to 4%, I guess it was, or something, or 2 to 4%, which is double. If it just keeps chugging and they keep revising to put more in your overall portfolio to their wealthy clients, yeah, we just keep going. Where is this going to go? I don't know. It's uncharted water. You can use Fibonacci to guess. I would say round numbers are always nice targets. 80, 90, 100K will be an insane target, I think. Everybody will be selling Bitcoin at 100,000. So maybe a swift wick above 100,000 then down. Who knows? Don't expect it.
Maybe that's a topic for another Setup Saturday, because there are a lot of good indicators for finding tops, but that's something we can do in a couple of months when we are looking for one. Right now, we're absolutely not.
Where to buy now? Like we said earlier, once we break that high again, and it starts like slowing down, chilling above here, you can just buy here and expect it to go up. The scenario where I then charted that it's going to nuke, it's unlikely it happens. Where do you place your stops? Place them just here. Now, if we dip here, if we look at this as a giant range, like this, you can buy here, I guess.
Right.
There's a nice little block over here that you can buy into.
And what is it that... Okay, yeah.
It's like 63.5-ish. It's a nice 4-hour order block you have. Personally, if I'm buying and smashing along with considering the amount of my portfolio, it will be if we wick into under 59,000 all the way to 53,000. Why? anybody who has longed over here from, doesn't even matter, from here or from here, your stop is obviously going to be, it's an obvious stop, but everybody and their mom has a stop at 59,000. What we then hope is that it cascades and pushes the price lower and lower, hitting more stops, all the way down to 53. And it instantly recovers because these people selling here are not people who want to sell Bitcoin. They are forced to sell Bitcoin because they're out of margin. Big difference.
That's just what we saw as well on Tuesday.
Yeah. You can see by the bounce, people had their stops here. This was an obvious stop. So if you were long, say you're long here, your target is over here. Let's say, oh, it should never wick. Maybe they start their position as this. It bounces on their entry. They say, okay, it should never be under here, otherwise it's gonna revert anyway. So this stop hits and it pushes the price a little bit lower because you're forced to sell. And then it cascades into, and that just snowballs gigahertz.
And that's why you should always have some buys really low.
Yeah, you need to have stink bits in spots. What I'm planning to buy under 59,000, by the way, like the 823, these are already stink bits. I don't expect them to get filled, but I'll be ready. If it happens, I'm there.
Yeah, but that's also because we are already allocated, so we don't really necessarily need to buy on these levels.
I can like stop trading for a year and I'll still be happy with the amount of crypto allocation I have. This is an event. The cascading liquidation is an event that should not happen. It is not a black swan event like FTX where you just need 10 or 20,000 in a candle. That's not what I'm looking for. Hopefully, but yeah, it's a forced sell. I want to be a buyer of people who are forced to sell even to. And the only thing you can do is prepare for that. So very quickly to recap, where do you want to buy if you're not allocated? This 4-hour block I quite like. Test into it. The problem is, where do you put your stop? Under this low or under this low? This low or this low? And then market makers decide to issue. Hit here, starts cascading. But yeah, that's where the first one, if we round down, would be. That's where it would be. And if we break it, I think we will see pretty quickly on 10 o'clock tonight on a Sunday, the stock market opens again, or pre-market starts to trade again. We'll have a good indication. Crypto likes to react to that because it shows what the appetite is, the risk appetite of investors. Pre-market on the stock jumps up a couple of percent. You can be sure that Bitcoin just follows. Pure on algorithms, not even traders, just pure algos that push the price up. And so yeah, this block or above all-time high when it starts like.
All right. If you want, I can show the targets on my screen real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
It's just, for me, as always, it's just spot bits. So what you can do if you want to buy some spot Bitcoin is pretty easy. My first buy is here at this level, so you can put a buy maybe a bit higher. That we will revisit this level, and it will also align with the 4-hour Kijun. So this is my first buy. It's possible that it bounces right on it. It's 5% drop. It could be exactly the same thing as we saw right here. It was also 6%. My second buy is just an easy level. It's on the yearly pivot points. It's this yellow line. So it's at 63,000. And then I don't think we see other prices yet. So basically what we always say on Saturday is to buy and always have spot bits on the Kijun and on the Tenkan. So basically what happened was last Tuesday, I bought a lot of crypto. Basically, I had 26 orders on the exchange, and 20 of those 26 orders hit. And all these orders were on the Kijun or on the Tenkan. As we see for Bitcoin, we hit here the Kijun. So basically, my buy was right here, and I think I made 10% in 1 second. So
Yep. It reverted. It's
you can have
bounced
some
support.
buys here if you don't really need the money. So you always have to look at your opportunity cost, what you do with your money. So you can I think I have some here. So my my 4 buys on Bitcoin is just one, as I said, what was it, right? It wasn't a 4 hour, it was right here. Then one here on the pivot point, one on the Tenken, and basically all in on Kijun. I don't see us dropping lower. What you always can do if you're waiting, you can place a buy here on the top of the clouds, but I don't think we will ever revisit it again. Looking at the monthly, the cloud is way too low. We will never visit these levels again, especially not with the halving coming up, the inflows coming up. I think the only reason we will visit these lows is for example, America bans Bitcoin, but that will never happen either. So try it, or just try to be allocated right now, or try to buy on the levels zero cool set or I set, so a bit lower, and then make sure you're allocated for the run coming ahead. Then as for Ethereum, this is pretty insane. Just look at it. It's just straight line up. It's not the same as Bitcoin. Bitcoin was a bit up, but Ethereum is crazy. It's just a straight line up. Same for Ethereum. I also bought some more here on the Tenken. But Ethereum, I'm actually more bullish on than Bitcoin right now. The sole reason is basically that the ETFs, I have a picture right here normally. So basically, with the ETFs, you cannot see it on my screen. Maybe if I can do it like this. As you see here, basically, yeah, this is good. The final deadline for a bunch of the Ethereum ETFs is in the end of May. So basically, what happened with Bitcoin was the first final ETF deadline. That was the day that they accepted Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin, if Ethereum will follow the same pattern so if Ethereum follows the same pattern than Bitcoin did, then we will just see higher prices. I made a video about it yesterday, so you can check that out. But for me, it can go 10% higher already in the run up towards it. So what you can do is just buy some Ethereum right now. And then looking at the news, if you see it will get accepted or not, you can already sell before. So just buy some Ethereum right now and sell 2 or 3 days before the final deadline. So what I'm thinking, I'm expecting it can be approved. I'm not giving it a lot of odds, maybe like 10% odds it will get approved. But the thing is, if it gets approved, then you see another candle of 15, 20% higher. But what I'm just trying to say here is that you can already make a lot of money just in the run towards it. So when people will get excited that the deadline is coming up, and Ethereum will just go higher in the run towards it.
Yep.
Maybe Zirko, you can go on some technical analysis on Ethereum.
Yeah, definitely. Where did I last buy? I think I bought some, and it bounced again, bouncing up. To stop, honestly. The only reason why we're not crashing harder is because someone is holding up Bitcoin, and I think
how is ETH-BTC doing, or will you look at it afterwards, maybe?
Oh yeah, I'll put it up. We have my weekly chart with my range high, my range low, mid range, deviation again, and it bounced like pitch perfect. The weekly closed on the range low. I think if we take out 0.06, we go to the mid range and a little bit higher. Everything of Ethereum that I bought was over here. Sold a bit here, back, and I plan to sell it. That's pure ETH BTC. It's holding up. You can tell that the rotation from Bitcoin to Ethereum has started after the ETF was the 11th of January, I think, somewhere around there. It's been one big waste, honestly, since the ETF, because it is a bull market. You spend most of your time, your screen time, these 3, 4, 5 months, and then the rest of the year and a half less on your screen. This is where you want to be awake. This is where you want to catch the liquidation licks I was talking about. This is where you pay attention. Weekly looks super bullish. My original target was over here. I personally closed my long like 2100. From over here, I closed it at 3.395. Close it over here. 60% run. Pure madness. If you started trading crypto in this, then this is pure insanity. We've done it before. This is even more insane. What we're seeing now is this, not a blow-off week with like 20% weekly candle. But yeah, we broke this here. The next obvious level is 4.4, I believe. Is here and then 4, which is near all-time high. I expect if this accelerates, it accelerates into 4.4 to 4. And then maybe like chill a bit. Above 4.8, all gloves are off, and DCR's target was $10,000 for an Ethereum.
Yeah, I think
It
so
is
as
not
well. I think you
meant
can easily
more.
target 10,000 for this cycle. Easily, probably higher.
And when we speak cycle, it is not tomorrow, right? It's a year and a half, 2 years, early 2026 maybe, something around. Maybe it's a shortened cycle, like a lot of people like to think. It's a longer one, who knows? But 10K is the target, I guess, for Ethereum. Now,
The only thing I'm thinking about fundamentally wise is Ethereum always performs better when the monetary policy is more in favor of risk assets. So when the Fed cuts rates, and just looking at all the crypto assets, all the stocks, everything at the all-time high, makes you think that the Fed will not cut rates in May or even in June. So if they wait till later this year, Q4 maybe, to start cutting rates, then it can get ugly for a couple of alts and even Ethereum. So that's the only thing you have to watch out for, in my opinion.
Yep. If you see this, where do you enter? Wait. We told you to bid. We told you to bid here, in case it happens.
We told you to bid last week on the Kijun. That was the last buy you had. I don't think see it going lower. The buy was on the Kijun on the daily Tenkan last week, but I don't see
maybe my settings are wrong. Am I using the default ones?
It's 20, 60, 120.
That's one.
Yes. Yeah, you see.
So that's why I follow you for Ichi Cloud Trading. I just use your buys, not mine, because clearly I have my settings wrong. But yeah, we told you to. It was Saturday, I think. We told you to buy here or have orders there. We're not gonna give you financial advice where to buy. We advised. We think this is where we could buy. If you didn't come in here, the chance that it does this and go back again, this is
lower.
Small.
Yeah.
This is smaller than the first touch, right? The second touch is always less favorable.
And the market is less hot than last week at the moment. I think the how is it called? The open interest is way lower.
Open interest is a bit down. Funding rate is down, especially on Bitcoin. If you think about it, the funding rates for our last bull market was constantly up high and high for weeks with the flush we had a couple of days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago. The flush completely reset funding. Funding is had on the bounce went up. It's already reset again. It doesn't scream, oh my god, the top is in. What I want to show here, by the way, is it bounces, it goes off, it bounces, it goes off.
Exactly.
This doesn't touch, it gets front run. And
then your major buys where you put in the most
Yeah.
of your money is on the Kijun a bit later. Couple of the
Mhm.
You see the
It
Kijun
goes up.
bounce there on the red line here. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you just go all in.
And if you then you keep bidding here, it's gonna break eventually. First touch is nice, second touch is nice, third touch, which we don't get here, is iffy. More touches than 4, I would not bid blindly. I would want to evaluate what's going on that spot for bidding it blindly. So yeah, have your buys ready for the second time it touches the Tenkin. And have some ready here around 3,100, which is a big step.
You never know. I have most of my cash to go all in there, but I don't think we ever see it anymore.
Okay. That's Ethereum for us. I wouldn't start bidding here. I have a small position open in case that it needs above 4,000. I want to be in it before it goes above 4,000. If it breaches 4,000, I think alt season starts and it goes for.
Maybe one more thing I want to touch on for Ethereum, which is pretty bullish, is actually the Dencun upgrade, the EIP 4844, also called Proto Danksharding, which will go live the 13th of March. Not sure what date that is, at Wednesday maybe. And basically what will happen is so they will implement 9 EIP, so Ethereum improvement proposals. But the most important one is the EIP 4884, and that's basically where they will reduce gas fees on Ethereum layer 2s by 100-fold. Which means actually right now everyone is just using Solana because it's pretty cheap, it's super cheap, it's easy to use. But when the updates will go live, I think more and more people will start to use Ethereum again. Because it will be cheap as well. It will be the same transaction fee as Solana. But then now you can just use the Ethereum ecosystem and take advantage of Ethereum security. So this is pretty bullish Ethereum long term, and I think that's very, very bullish for Ethereum as well in the short term. So that's one to look at it as well. Maybe we can go over some alts. So basically speaking, the EIP 4884, the thing was, let me look up my charts. So there are a lot of altcoins that will benefit from it as well. For example, you can always look at all the Ethereum layer 2s. Like we said last week, you have Matic, you have ARP, you have Optimism. What else we have here? Metis. So these are buys that are pretty interesting to buy. So basically, that's why I used whole last week really to look at all the metrics of all the layer 2s and which one is the most interesting one to buy ahead of the EIP 4884 upgrades. So you have a very good site for this. It's called Grow the Pie. Here you have all the fundamentals, fundamental metrics. So you can just start by active addresses. You see Arbitrum is clearly ahead. It's pretty easy actually, and just number of addresses. That tells you just the users that are using the network, pretty basic. A very important one is the transaction count. Same thing. So just so you know, I'm only comparing Arbitrum and Optimism because they are the biggest ones. Same thing here as well. Transaction count way higher for Arbitrum. Stablecoin market cap, pretty important. This one is actually the most important one, not only in layer 2s or just by comparing Arbitrum and Optimism, but also in altcoins in general. What I want to say is if you see a lot of USDT and a lot of USDC coming into the market, that means that we will see an alt season and all the alts will start pump. But just now looking at the Arbitrum and Optimism, you see Arbitrum is just taking the lead very clearly, and they continue to grow their stablecoin market cap. Same
Pretty
as
flat
well.
on
Yeah,
OP actually.
your total value locked, pretty interesting one as well. Arbitrum takes the lead as well, and that's why I was thinking, okay, I put everything maybe in a spreadsheet to compare both of them, because both of them they kind of have the same fully diluted valuation. So that's what I think was strange, because it's the market is
One
to
is
me is
mispriced.
exactly, one is mispriced in my opinion. The only reason that Optimism is maybe priced the same as Arbitrum is because Coinbase uses it. So Coinbase uses it for their base chain. It's with the Optimism tech stack. Um, then you can see here, well, actually the actual most important thing are the on-chain profits. So basically you can look at layer twos as they are a company, and how they make money is just the fees that they get by the users, and then the rent minus the rent that they have to pay to their layer one to buy the block space of Ethereum. So this one is the most important metric in my eyes. And if we look at the monthly profits, then it's just clear which chain is the best. As you can see, Arbitrum got more than 2 million in profits a month, and OP only got 50,000 profits a month, so they are barely profitable. So on-chain profits, that's just the rent they pay to the layer ones minus the fees paid by the users to Arbitrum or Optimism.
Yep.
So as I said, I put everything for you guys in a very nice chart. You can see it right now. So here, total value locked, we went over it. Then the protocols, that was not on the Grow the Pie site. I had to take it from another site. Also more than double for Arbitrum, more than double daily active addresses, transaction count more than double, stables 3x. I also gave it color so it's easy for you guys to see.
ARP is the clear winner. You made a very nice and long video about this, going into very detail.
Yeah, if you guys can look at my video from yesterday, I talked about it for 15 minutes. It's very interesting. And if you can give it a like, it will help me a lot. Leave a comment, subscribe, and everything. So just the only problem actually was the transaction costs. So as you can see, it's still 20 cents to make a transaction. But that will all change next week with the coming upgrade, the EIP 4844. Which will reduce the costs by 100-fold. So these chains will then be usable again. So they might even change. Maybe Optimism will go ahead, and it will be very interesting to follow how it all plays out. So the only thing was they already have a very big fully diluted valuation. So as you can see, 18 billion against Optimism's 13 billion. For both of them, it's a lot, because I'm not exactly sure, but I think Solana is at 30 or 40 billion or something.
I'll quickly check for
Maybe
you.
you can check.
It's around 50 actually.
Yeah, maybe already 50 for the time being, but it's a lot actually. So
Get cap.
no, do the fully diluted valuation.
Yeah.
And then here I made some calculations, like the fully diluted valuation divided by the TVL, fully diluted divided by the volume. This is a very good metric to evaluate coins on their fundamental metrics. And as you can see here, Arbitrum, way better, especially here in the volume department here. So this is basically right here, is how you value coins like this, how you see which one is the better investment. So as you can see, it's clearly Arbitrum right now.
Yep.
So
there's two situations, right? Either ARP is underpriced or OP is overpriced. Seeing how we were in a bull run and everything keeps going up, it's for me more likely that ARP is gonna price upwards than OP would price downwards.
Yeah, so fully disclosure, that's why I bought some Arbitrum last week, even before. I mean, I bought some on the Tenken last week, or no, it was on the bottom of the cloud or something. We can show it later, but I already bought before. just one thing, and then I go over to you for the technicals on it. There's one thing you have to keep in mind. There's a big unlock coming for Arbitrum. So basically, on the 16th of March, there is 84% of the current circulation coming to the market. This will be the biggest unlock for Arbitrum yet, and a lot of people are afraid all the investors, the team, the DAO will just dump their coins. So that's why nobody wants to buy right now. But to me, I don't think everyone will dump because we're in the start of a new bull run, and mostly they already sold the coins OTC, so they will not hit the market anyway. But that's something you have to keep in mind and something you have to follow because maybe if they dump, just be ready, place some orders a bit lower to buy it, and if the selling is done, then it's just up only.
It is only the investor plus the team stack that hits the
Yeah,
market,
true.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, true.
That's 900.
No, it's basically, I think how it is that everything, so the DAO is already dumping, so this is already unlocked every month, but now this is the first unlock for the investors and the team.
investors and the teams, yeah. And then it seems to be stagnated, vested, releasing more per. I kind of assume it's either week or months, after that.
Hmm. We'll see, we'll see. I don't think it's anything to worry about too much, but it's just something to keep in mind and try to play it to your advantage by putting some buys. You want to do the technical side, Circle?
Yeah, we'll go over that. Coin market cap. Where are we? Let's start with ARB, right? If you zoom out this chart, just plain and naked, this is extremely bullish. I think I said it last week. This can go 3, 4, and if it really goes absolutely ballistic, I see this double digits. Then this is one that I bought spot and plan to hold for at least double digit.
And I think I saw your screen just before. Solana was 80 billion valuation, right?
Yeah, 85.
So this means that we can do a 4x to go at Solana's level, but and because
Solana
really, in my opinion, they have the same value. Honestly, in the future, I think a lot more people will use an Ethereum layer 2 than Solana, but that's just my opinion.
And keep in mind, Solana is still 70% from its all-time high, right? So.
And plus Solana is a layer 1, so they have to pay for the security themselves, while Arbitrum can just use or the security of Ethereum layer 1. So Arbitrum is just way more profitable.
Yep. There's the chart is pretty new, like coin, or it was started trading on Binance in March here, so you don't have a cloud that's developed yet. If you go lower levels, it will. 4 hour the cloud flipped green. It's above the clouds. The Tenkin and the Kijun. I'm starting to get really tired. Are also flipped bullish. So yeah, the entire chart just screams up for me. And through the analysis from Jack, we saw that it is most likely underpriced towards its competitors, which only goes to show that this is one where you can make money up.
It's good that you mentioned the 4-hour cloud, because what I wanted to say before, I had my spot buys basically on the bottom of the green cloud.
Six take.
Oh, but I'm on other exchange. It's pretty funny actually. On another exchange, so I'm on my trading view. I'm on Kraken, and Kraken USD just, and there it is on 183 USD.
Okay, USD.
Yeah.
Kraken.
Second one.
This one?
Second one.
No, this is
second one.
There we go. ARBUSD. Yeah. There we go.
So as we said, I think it was a couple of episodes before, the cloud works in two ways. Basically, the green cloud, most of the times when you close in the cloud from the top going down, it most likely will visit the bottom of the clouds again. So I had my buys right there, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and it bounced nicely.
Hmm.
It did close one candle under the cloud, but it's immediately bumped into and closed into the cloud. So that was a pretty clear sign of reversal. Also, it fully elapsed the previous candle. So yeah, it is pretty clear that we're both pretty bullish on ARP. Anything can happen. It's long term. This is a coin to have.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So this is one of the coins that I'm just want to hold for the next 2 years. This is not something I'm trading. This is really something I believe in fundamentally, which I'm confident in that won't drop to zero like every other meme coin or shit
Yep.
altcoin that you have to watch the chart 24/7.
Yep. And then we can go over the edge to edges that we were talking about last week. We said if it starts closing in the cloud, start buying and have your bids ready. I have bids filled on all 5 of them.
Yeah.
They're
So
all up.
the
I think
cloud
I
worked
posted.
perfectly last Tuesday, so you just had to have buys on the Kijun, on the Tenkan, and you would have bought easily a 20% up right now.
Yep. I think the lowest one out of the 5 is up 10%, and near is up a whopping.
Look at that, the bounce on the, what is it,
60.
Tenkan or Kijun, it's perfect.
Yeah. This is
It's both of
exactly
them,
where I'm,
yeah.
by the way.
Perfect, yeah.
3.8 was my lowest buy, I think. That is up 57% in a couple of days.
I sold some of that one, by the way,
I'm
this
holding.
today.
I'm riding it edge to edge. I'm selling above 10. This is where I'm selling. If we go to Matic again, same concept. My buys were here, I think 1.3. It wicked way deeper. Went to the Kijun here.
Matic I will hold as well towards the end of the cloud. It's only 40 more percent, so it's fine.
What else do we have? Phil. Oh, the cloud here.
That's when I'm not going to hold.
Because I'm in the wrong one. Going older one. Go. This is the beauty. You'll see this one pass by without a ticker, and you can immediately know it is Phil because of this wick here. So somebody managed to buy on day 1 for 274. This is a dead giveaway that we're talking about, Phil.
What day is it?
People chart?
Is it on 19th of October?
Monday, 12th October 20. The reason people are charting this is because this has a giant accumulation range, which is breaking out of.
And that's when you get the big cloud.
Yeah. Yeah, you get the big cloud because the price was pretty high up here.
Yeah, of course.
We closed in the clouds. This is $60+ from here to $60+ is like 460%. I don't believe I can hold 460%. I'll probably be taking profits 20, 25, 30, and then see it go 60 and be sad about it. But yeah, this is a system we use, and it says to sell at 60. I don't think we'll get 60, but this is the target. Other coins like Phantom here, a bit more reasonable. It's 120%. That's perfectly reasonable in a bull market. And again here, we didn't even get a bounce on the TK or the Kijun.
Just what I just saw, I haven't looked at it in a while. Look at the Shiba Inu and the cloud. It basically went straight up towards the top of the cloud immediately, just in 2 days.
What time frame?
I have it.
Oh, wow. So guys, if it starts entering the cloud, you buy, and when it almost touches the end of the cloud, you sell. Easy, 2 weeks work. No, this is insane. This is beautiful pump and dump meme coin stuff. And then the last one we haven't touched is Algo, I think. I'm using the wrong charts. This is where I buy and not where I'm charting.
Algorand is pretty big cloud as well, but I'm not going to hold till the end. I'm just going to hold that previous support, which is at 0.67. Yeah, there.
This giant block, order block on the
Yeah.
weekly. Yeah, it makes sense. It's a perfectly nice target to have. You could hold this for 400%, but then you would need to see.
Then you
full
become a
odds.
community member.
Then you become a community member and not a trader anymore. They're perfectly viable targets for very long term. But keep in mind the cloud here. Where's my brush? The cloud here is dropping, right? So let's say it stabilizes here, and it goes like this. This is still an edge-to-edge trade. This is still
And you can
both
see
the
this
edge.
very well at Dogecoin. It's also in the clouds, and you can see it's basically already stopped at its edge from a couple of weeks ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So if it goes like this,
It's worked. It's played out, which it will.
Yeah. Again, meme coins absolutely pumped, took everybody by surprise. Should we be surprised if we look at candles like this? We should not be surprised by meme coins so much.
This is maybe a bold prediction, but I think when all the meme coins just finish their edge to edge, which will be in a couple of weeks, I think the trade will be over. I think
This will die out. That's what I think. It will rotate into fundamental coins.
I think so as well. Yeah.
We haven't looked at Solana. Also did it edge to edge. What I wanted to point out here is this beautiful uptrend that we've been on. Let's turn it. Just ticks perfectly here. Unless we start closing low here. Unless it starts close here and it goes down, which I don't think. This is a very nice support. Again, the more times you touch it, the less support it becomes, and this is a pure straight meme line, but it works, right? It works for a reason. Now the gray bar that I have for the order block here, I think is on weekly. Yes, is a weekly order block. We've seen this with Ethereum, we've seen this with Bitcoin. If it can start closing above 150, it's gonna go to 200 without a doubt. This leg will be very brutal and very hard. This won't be a week up week after week. This will be a straight candle.
If you're looking for a buy target for Solana, a very good buy target is actually on top of the weekly cloud. So basically it works in two ways. So when the edge to edge played out, then the top of the cloud acts as a support right now. So now it's a very strong support at 134, and you can have some buys a bit higher. I think I have one buy at 135. I just told you in Discord right before. I think you can bid there. It's almost there. So it's just, what is it, 6-7% lower. I think if it drops, that's a very strong support and very good buy right there.
For me, it looks like Solana's trying to top, but Bitcoin is being held up, so it's not dropping. I think this drifts through 150, yeah. And once it starts closing here on the daily level, even 4-hour level, you see it's capped here. It starts closing above.
Yeah, the 4-hour candles on Bitcoins are pretty weird. I just looked at them again.
Yeah, they're. We've seen this before. If you then put on indicators like Bollinger Bands, we'll have to need some indicators version on this account by design, by the way. Bollinger Bands. So when a rally happens is when the price dies out and Bollinger Bands start to squeeze tight.
Yeah.
You see this here. There's an indicator.
And what was the thing? It's bullish if it's above the midline, and so for a bullish breakout towards the upside, and it's bearish if it's under the yellow line. So normally it should move higher upwards, right?
What I wanted to show, yeah, I can. Once you reach levels where it's very tight, the tighter it is and the longer it is this tight. So this is the percentage, I think, or the distance between the two bands, the width between the two bands. So if it comes down, you have a heavy reaction. That's the legs we see. And that's happening again with this closing. So the longer this consolidates into 4-hour candles here, just doing nothing and price being absolutely flat, these two come down. The width here goes down. The longer and the lower this is, the more volatile the is. Now, we're in a bull market. These two are up. It can exactly happen in the same other way, where the width grows but the price nukes. But that's not likely here, I think. I think the next volatile is towards 72, 7, and then we reject. But that's just a guess. Again, BlackRock can just keep buying Bitcoin endlessly from us, and there's nothing we can do about it. But yeah, these candles. Has this happened beforehand? Yeah. Where? This is a pretty tight one. Not as tight as current one, but you can see it's also pretty tight. And you can tell you traded this, it faked out and then yeeted away. Here you can also see it tight. Here also super tight. This is a good example where it dropped. This here is over a span of 2 days, where the price range is from this bottom to this bottom. It's 1% over the span of 2 days. Nuked on just on the 2 days. So 1 day, 20 hours, where the range is 1%. And it's at 40K, so it's a $400 range. It happens that price volatility dies out. And by the way, if you look at the bottom, it's Saturday and Sunday. And futures opens on 22 hours for me here. So it's, or no, sorry, European time. In Europe, so it opens around 5 o'clock. Futures open around here. I'm not excluding this, that this can't happen, tight range and then nuke, but we're still in the market, so the fact that I need to scroll up hard to zoom just shows you how relentless buying is. Personally, I started selling part of my long-term portfolio 59 to 64. This is where I sold some. I was expecting to buy it back here. I don't think I'll ever see it again. I did buy back. Not all of it, a little.
All right, maybe let's call it a day because we're more than 1 hour in.
Yeah,
do you think?
It's been a long one.
Yeah, we had a lot to talk about. But maybe just to finish it off, I just had an idea. We never did it before. Maybe just if you have a guess, just a prediction, what the price of Bitcoin will be for next week, for next setup Saturday. Yes.
Oh, very interesting.
What do you think?
64,000.
64,000? Okay, I'm going to say 74,000.
All right. We need to write it down and then meme each other about it.
I
think we will have our leg up into Monday, and then I don't know, Monday, Wednesday, between somewhere there, have our spike up, and then our turbo nuke below 58, and then slowly drift into the 60s for the weekend.
I put here on my chart 2 X's. Just so this is my prediction. This is your prediction. So we have it for next week. All right. That's it for today then. As always, thank you very much, Zero Cool, for coming on. Guys, if you haven't yet, follow him on X, so on Twitter. It's the same. It's at 0x0cool. You can also see it on my Twitter. He's tagged in the stream. As well, if you like the stream, please like it on Twitter, share it, like it on YouTube, subscribe. And if you haven't yet, please watch my YouTube video from yesterday. I talked about Ethereum and Ethereum Layer 2s. It's very helpful if you want to invest in Ethereum Layer 2s. It explains everything. It goes over the fundamentals as I just did today. And leave a like there, leave a comment there, and then see you all next week.